Franz and Michaela Pamphil are expecting their first child in February. The pandemic has made the journey an interesting one.
I go weekly to Hear the Heart, and he's not able to come to any of those visits.
That's something that I would love to be a part of as a first-time father.
Instead, they were forced to get creative and still celebrate milestones.
And when we found out, I personally was kind of nervous to do anything, obviously, with all the precautions that we'd had to take. But I decided to do a gender reveal outdoors, very large outdoor space, only really, really close family and friends. Some of our family wasn't even invited just because we wanted to make sure that precaution was there. It was fun, and we found out it's a boy.
We had a very large space with only a few people that we could invite just for the safety precautions. So we just made sure to be safe on that end.
And they held a drive-by baby shower.
I had to pivot. I like to decorate and be creative, and I was kind of feeling down towards making the decision. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do baby shower at all. And one of my good friends and my sorority sisters, she encouraged me. She's like, no, let's do a drive-by. I was like, it's November, it's going to be freezing. But luckily on that day, we lucked out. It was very warm for a November day. Actually, I wore a long sleeve because I was getting ready for cooler weather. But it was beautiful, again, very intimate. People just dropped off their gifts, took photos. Masks were required. No food was served, just as a precaution. And it was great.
Since the COVID vaccine is now available, they're at odds about taking it. Her primary concern is fertility issues in the future, since she's of childbearing age. Both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines did not have pregnant women and children in the clinical trials. Studies show the Pfizer vaccine, when given as 2 shots, 21 days apart, provides 95% immunity. 1 shot provides 52% immunity initially, but that grows to about 89%, even before the second shot is given.
I work in research, so I will be probably scrutinizing the data more than the average patient would or person would, because this is what I do on a daily basis. I don't work in vaccines, so I'm not an expert at that, obviously, but I'll use some of my experience and sort of look at that data to see if I feel safe enough as a patient, and then obviously check with experts and see what the data comes out of before I can make that decision. But once the data is data supported, fertility, there's no side effects in that known of that, then I'll go ahead and take it.
I know I'm definitely going to take it based on the confidence that I have in the efficiency and accuracy on 90% and above. The fact that you had serious scientific professionals who were saying, it's okay with adults. I definitely, as soon as I'm eligible, definitely want to take it. I go out to take care of things for my household outside of the house. And so I feel as if to be more cautious, I should definitely take it.
But his older brother is less enthused about the vaccine. He and his wife, Tomides, have 2 young daughters, 6-year-old Maya and 3-year-old Eva.
It's great having a vaccine, but it was done so quickly, so it makes me nervous. Usually it takes years to develop a vaccine. This one was developed in months. You don't know what the side effects are. You don't know what might happen down in the future. So this is why I'm not sure if I want to take it. But at the same time, if there's a vaccine, it might be worth taking. In a way, we're all guinea pigs. We're all holding our breath. Hopefully nothing happens after we take it.
Since the vaccines were delivered to Brigham and Women's Hospital, Dr. Bisola Ojikutu was one of the first physicians to take it.
My colleagues who are Black and Latinx, they're lining up to get to be vaccinated. They're talking about it in their social networks. And these are people who are trusted.
Like Phil, many people of color are reluctant to take the vaccine, despite a disproportionate share of COVID-19 deaths in that population group. According to a Pew Center survey, many remain hesitant to trust doctors and scientists, embrace the use of experimental medical treatments, or get vaccinated against the illness. Many recall the Tuskegee experiment, which left 600 men untreated for syphilis without their consent.
All of these institutions that people of color mistrust, they need to become more trustworthy. They must gain the trust of people who've been historically and who are currently, feel disenfranchised from the system and who have suffered from, inequity and structural racism.
The Pfizer vaccine was approved for trial for ages 16 and older, Moderna 18 and older. And with little to no data associated with children, Phil says if the vaccine becomes available for children, he's opting out and continuing remote learning.
That'll be a hard one. I think since they're doing Zoom already doing virtual. If I had a choice for them to either take it or do virtual, I'd say do virtual because school doesn't know what might happen to them. So that would be my preference. If they don't have to take it, then I would not want them to take it at all. In children, you don't know what can happen. They're developing. You don't know what side effects can happen. For us, we're grown adults. We've developed. So, if something happens, something happens. But, you look at little kids, that's a different story.
Overall, everyone agrees having access is key.
I'm concerned about inequity. I'm concerned about the disparities that we've seen in this particular infection and the disparities that we see in healthcare overall. And will this particular infection, will this pandemic sort of turn the tide?
We have the opportunity to work from home, but a lot of individuals that look like us do not have that opportunity to work from home. So either they don't have access because of the communities they live in, or they're working 24/7 and they're not able to get that on that priority list to get that access to that drug or that vaccine, I should say. So that's the only thing that I think about. Our communities may still be impacted because of access to getting the vaccine, either just availability or not being in the communities where the pharmacists, let's say the pharmacists now are going to be distributing this vaccine if we get to that route to the general population. A lot of pharmacies are not in these communities. They have to drive out and they don't have the time and there's no one to watch their kids to go out and get the vaccine. So access to the vaccine is something that I think about a lot.